On Thanksgiving evening, the sore throat began. I just shrugged it off to not drinking enough water throughout the busyness of Thanksgiving Day and went to sleep like any other normal night. Of course, I woke up the next morning feeling razor blades going down my throat and swallowing continuously very thick, nasty mucus. I suddenly realized what I was in for. Welcome to the DeConta channel, where we discuss all things educational and we never duck away from difficult topics, including the best tried and true strategies for battling the common cold. Getting a cold during the holiday season is so snot fun. I know. Gotta throw in a pun every now and again. But there are a few things you can do at home to kick its butt. Whether you are pregnant or not, this is the battle strategy you can use in the war against the yearly cold virus. First and foremost, you need to recognize and accept the fact that your body's getting sick. Not blaming it on allergies, not trying to move on in denial like it's not happening. You feel that little tickle in the back of your throat? You got the thicker snot and coming in? You might be sneezing more than usual? Yeah, just accept it and assume you are coming down with a cold so that you can fight back. The sooner, the better. Next, you'll need some battle supplies. My war chest includes having lots of fluids and tissues on hand, vitamin C packets, a neti pot, Vicks Vapo Rub, a humidifier, and if you are pregnant, by the way, don't add the essential oil stuff to it, but if you're not pregnant, then feel free to add whatever essential oil or Vapo Pad to it to help you breathe as well. Loratadine, which is just basically Claritin or Wallatin if you buy the cheapy generic stuff from Walgreens like we do. Hall's Max Strength Menthol Cough Drops. These are the ones that have 20 milligrams of menthol per drop. Those are the ones you want. And last, but certainly not least, diphenhydramine, which is basically just Waldril or Benadryl. Now that you're armed, you need to know the battle strategy. The first thing you gotta do when you wake up in the morning is pop one loratadine tablet, which again is just like your Claritin. The reason you do this is to help dry up the post-nasal drip. That's what ends up giving you that razor blade feeling after swallowing all of the post-dripping in the back of your throat. So we want to dam that up as quick as possible. So take a Claritin, loratadine. Then you'll need to read and follow the directions carefully for rinsing out your sinuses using a neti pot. I personally like to use 2 packets of the sodium bicarbonate salt mixture that they include in those neti pots in the first few days of having the cold to really help clear everything out. Although it looks hilarious when you do it, the neti pot is really effective at clearing out your sinuses and relieving the pressure that you feel right here, and also can help prevent those sinus infections by cleaning all the snot out. The next thing you want to do is drink 1 packet of vitamin C. Now, the reason you do that is because it's been shown to reduce the number of days that you suffer from the cold by 1. So 1 less day of suffering if you start taking vitamin C early on. If your throat already happens to hurt at this point, then you might want to start sucking on one of those menthol lozenges and take some Vicks Vapo Rub and rub it on the sides of your neck and on your chest. By noon or early afternoon, you may find yourself needing to use that neti pot again, and of course, continue to use those menthol cough drops as needed throughout the day. By the evening, don't be surprised if your cold symptoms somehow seem to get worse. This is pretty standard because your immune system gets heightened right at bedtime, unfortunately. So for the first 3 to 4 nights of the cold, you want to take 2 diphenhydramine 25 milligram tablets for a total of 50 milligrams. This will really help to dry up that post-nasal drip that you experience throughout the night and has the added bonus of making you feel drowsy and helping you fall asleep through all the discomfort. After the 3rd or 4th night of taking 50 milligrams of the Benadryl, the diphenhydramine, You might want to gauge how you're feeling, and if you're feeling better, then reduce it down to just 1 Benadryl, the 25 milligrams, until your cold symptoms subside. You may also want to try using the neti pot before you go to sleep, but I highly recommend you do so at least an hour before you lay down so you don't have the weird, nasty salt water dripping down the back of your throat while you're trying to sleep. Keep your tissue box and your menthol lozenges nearby as you try to fall asleep, and try to do so on your side. This way, one of your nasal passages can hopefully clear out so that you're able to breathe at least through one of the nostrils. Make sure you've got your humidifier turned on and try to get some seriously needed shut-eye. Sleep is what is shown to really help you overcome any kind of virus. When you wake up the next morning, repeat the previous mentioned steps as many times as you need to until the cold is vanquished. If you follow these steps, you'll find your cold to be a lot more tolerable, although still annoying, of course. Other than the typical cold symptoms that I've now got cornered and under control using those previous steps that I mentioned, what else has this week of pregnancy felt like? Well, so far it's actually been the best week since the very beginning of pregnancy that I've had thus far, both physically and emotionally. I'm finally in that sweet spot, the nice second trimester that everyone talks about. Just a couple of adjustments at the chiropractor over this last month practically made me a new woman. My sleep has gotten better, my muscle pains haven't resurfaced, and overall I'm a lot happier because I'm not constantly in pain. And I also have a lot less anxiety because I can feel my baby girl moving around a lot now. She's really active, kicking all the time, especially when we sit down to watch Netflix at the end of the day. And now I'm starting to really get excited about meeting her for the first time, especially since I went to the OB and had another ultrasound done at just a routine appointment. And I saw her sticking her tongue out and she was yawning. It was so cute. It was so cute. So what else is our little one up to in there, other than being totally active, tasting the amniotic fluid, sticking their tongue out, moving and exploring their hands and their environment, and just being adorable little bundles in general? Well, our baby is now about 13 inches long, or about 33 centimeters long, and could weigh anywhere between 1.5 to 1 3/4 pounds. So basically, our little one is roughly the length of an ear of corn, as shown in the model here. With each additional week from here on forwards, your little one's going to be gaining a lot of fat underneath their skin. That'll make their skin appear more like what this baby doll is signifying here by not being wrinkly. Currently, our little ones are quite wrinkly until all the fat fills out underneath their skin. All of this extra fat will, of course, also give them the advantage of having their own heat source once they're born. And by this week, it's pretty common for baby to already be head down, getting ready for birth. Now, go grab your cold battle gear and bunker down to survive this cold. And of course, I most certainly wish you a short, or at least manageably short and mostly symptom-free Cold War that you will most certainly win. I am in the end stages of my Cold War, so I wish you luck, comrade. These videos take quite a bit of time, but it would only cost you a second to like this one. To join me next week in this 40-week pregnancy series, or the super simplified science of pregnancy, all you have to do is subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.